Hey guys, welcome back. So I don't like the lighting on this video, but let's see. Okay, welcome back guys. So yesterday was pretty interesting, y'all. Like my life is just interesting altogether, but yeah, it was pretty interesting because I'm gonna catch you guys up. Now, I posted a video yesterday on Sad and Lonely on Thanksgiving Day, and it's pretty ironic that I don't know what happened to it. Like you try to play it and it won't play. So I don't know. I'm gonna catch you guys up from that video. So yesterday, for you guys who did see it, as you guys know, and then for you guys who haven't seen my video that I made yesterday, I was just talking about how lonely I was yesterday, like in the beginning part of yesterday anyway. Because my mom, she called me, it was like 8:44 yesterday morning. I was sleeping, I was knocked out. And then, ironically, I woke up at 8:45 and I checked my phone and I saw that I had a missed call and it was my mom. And I'm like, wow, because my ringer is off of my phone. I always leave my ringer off of my phone because I'm either with a client or I'm at school, you know, in class. So I never have my ringer on my phone. It's always on silent. So it wasn't my phone that woke me up. It was just good timing, I guess. And like I said, maybe my ESP senses, like extra sensory perception that woke me up, that somehow I knew that she had called. Because literally, she called me 8:44 and I woke up at 8:45 and I looked at my phone. I'm like, dang, I just missed my mom's phone call. So I called her right back. I was talking to my mom yesterday and they was rubbing in my face how they was in Kissimmee, Orlando, having fun. It was her, my sister, my mom's sister, which is my aunt, and my cousin. And they was just having too much fun down there without me. And they were like, yeah, we're finishing up cooking. And I'm like, so what? I'm way out here on the West Coast, and I was like talking to them. I was feeling lonely, you guys. Like, I was like, oh. And then my dad called me like an hour later. He called me like at what, 9:50 or something, like 9:45, and I'm just like, he told me that he was cooking, and he had a good lineup of stuff that he was cooking, like turkey and everything. Like, you know how black people do. We go all out for Thanksgiving, right? So he cooked and he was asking me how I'm doing, and I was telling him that, you know, I'm still in school. I have 3 more semesters left, and then my 5th year APA internship that's paid. And he was like, so how does that translate into years? And I told him that's like 2.5 years. But he was like, don't worry, you'll get through it. You know, he was like, I'm amazed to see like your level of commitment to school and how you're able to, you know, stay the course and stay focused. And I'm like, yeah, Dad, this is something that I've been wanting to do. Like, so yeah, I'm pretty dedicated to it. So I was like, thank you. And it's like, I appreciate my mom and my dad calling me on Thanksgiving Day and just being so supportive of me and just so loving, right? And just hearing their voice, it warms my heart. But when I hung up the phone, that's when I got sad, and I literally started to cry, you guys. Now, it wasn't like the baby boo-hoo crying, like showers of tears falling down, but I did shed some tears. And I was like, let me get the fuck out my bed and take a shower. And so I did, and I was still feeling bad, but I was like, let me go do something. So I ended up going to Hollywood. And I went to this comedy show, and y'all gotta listen to this because yesterday was pretty interesting. I'm like, wow, look at the universe. Like, look at the freaking universe, y'all. It's amazing. So I went to Hollywood, went to my favorite, like smoothie shop that I go to get my smoothie. And that's actually where I made the video. Facebook, where is my freaking video? It's there, but it won't play back. And I'm like, that's so unfortunate. Like, what's Facebook doing to my stuff, man? Get my video back. So yeah, that's where I made the video, and I got my shake, and then I ended up going to this comedy club on Sunset Boulevard that basically had this free Thanksgiving fest. So they were feeding people for free, and then they had free comedy, and I was just like, who's gonna miss out on that? Right, so I went there, but it was a lot of homeless people there. I mean, I guess not to my surprise because there's free food, you know. Now a lot of agencies, they give out free food, so I wasn't there necessarily for the food. I was actually there because I thought Tiffany Haddish was going to be there because that's what it says on their website, but she wasn't there, and I'm like, this is false advertising. But anyway, I still had a great time. I met a few interesting characters there, ended up exchanging contact information. And then, like, because I came in on the end of the second show, I ended up catching a third show. And so these guys who were standing in the front of the line, they just let me step in front of them. It was like, come on, you can get in front of us. And so I was talking to them, you know, chatting it up with them. One of them, he's a New York native, but he's out here in LA. Another one, he's from Serbia. Now, this dude kind of interesting, right? Short little dude, but he got a cute face, you know, and they got like the little beard game going on. And I'm sitting here talking to this guy, like, as I'm talking to them, and I'm noticing the guy from Serbia, he's really into what I'm saying. Like, he's like, And you can kind of tell, I know I can tell when a guy is interested in me. Like, he don't really have to say it verbally. It's just, it be all over his face. Motherfucker be so mesmerized. Like, he just be like, jaw drop, just. So, I can tell. So, when we go inside, not to my surprise, when I sat down, I saw he came behind me after, like, we got our food. He came behind me, and he was like, oh, can I sit with you? So, I'm like, go ahead. He was like, you sit way close to the stage. I'm like, that's how I usually do. I usually sit, like, close to the stage at events. And so, we sitting there, and he just, like, find me so interesting. He's just all up in my, like, just didn't really break eye contact, just right there, right? Giving me all this attention. And I'm, of course, paying him back the favor, and we having a good conversation. And then after the show, I went to the restroom. Before I went to the restroom, one of the comedians, he actually reached out to give me a hug. And I'm like, oh, how sweet of him. He's kind of attractive too. And I'm like, oh, how sweet. And so I went to the restroom, and I left out the restroom, went out the building, and then the guy from Serbia was out there, like, waiting on me, I guess. And he was like, so, where you headed? And I was like, I ain't really got no plans. I'm just going to probably go and hang out in Hollywood because the club is actually in West Hollywood. So I was like, I'm about to go probably hang out on Hollywood Boulevard and whatever. He was like, oh, can I come with you? I was like, I guess, you know. So we was like walking and talking, and we had some real deep conversation. He's an actor. He's trying to break into the business, as most people out in Hollywood are. Like, that's why people usually move to Hollywood, because they're trying to become famous and break into the entertainment industry. So, you know, he's done several roles, and really interesting guy. Like, good conversation. That's the thing about me. If anything that can really get my interest is a guy who knows how to stimulate me intellectually. And he was there, like, toe to toe. I'm like, damn, okay. I mean, even though we weren't like the same height, but it was like we was there, you know, deep-seated conversation as we was walking down Sunset Boulevard towards Hollywood Boulevard. And I swear we talked all the way from Sunset to Hollywood Boulevard, and I ended up telling him I was getting ready to go, you know, get on the train. But it's like he said something, and it got it really got my interest. We was just continuing talking, and we was talking about politics. That's what it was. He hit me with politics, man. Talking about race politics and, you know, the racial disparities in Hollywood, and, you know, with these studios and stuff like that, which I already know about. We was talking about that, and I was like, damn, he listens. You know, and he's respectful, and he got a cute little face, even though he's short, because I'm kind of tall. I'm about like 5'9", right? And so, he was short. I don't know how tall he is, probably like 5'4" or something. I got some inches on him. But it didn't feel that way. Like, even though he was short in stature, he had this presence, like, of dominance, right? Y'all know how I feel about dominant men, right? He just, yeah. And then I remember he said something about, like, we were talking about like relationships and dating, and he was just saying all the right stuff. And I know that there are guys who kind of just say stuff to try to fluff up a female, you know, just to make her feel good, to tell her what she want to hear, right? But I got a sense he wasn't like that. And so we end up standing outside of Hollywood and Vine Station for like a good hour just talking. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't usually do this. Anybody know me know, like, I usually give people the cold shoulder, like real, especially dudes. Like, I make dudes work for it, put it that way. Work for my number, right? And so this guy, we just talking. I'm like, damn, I'm into what he's saying. He's into what I'm saying. Like, we was feeling each other, right? And so it got to the point where I was like, I'm getting tired. Like, all this standing, you know, like, it was kind of getting late. It was like maybe like 9-ish, 10-ish, or whatever, between 9 and 10. And I'm like, yeah, I'm about to go ahead and hop on this train. I was like, what you about to do? And then I gotta tell y'all this, because this is an important piece. So, like, before that part, you know, he had told me that he lives downtown LA. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, so how much do you pay for your space? And he said that he's renting a room. He paid like $400. And y'all know me. I'm like, what? $400? But he said he's renting a room from this Asian couple, and he got a good deal. And I was like, actually, that's a really great deal. But back to $400. I'm like, okay, $400. That's all you can afford. And so that kind of threw me off a little bit, right? And then we were just talking about like relationship dynamics and how I think that guys should pay all the bills. And that kind of took him off a little bit, right? Took him by, so he was like, how most guys respond, even on social media when I said it, like, what? You know, because the times we live in, guys expect women to do the 50-50 thing. But I'm not like that. That's not what I'm used to, you know? And I already talked about this. I want to kind of go all into detail about that, because I still have more to share. Like, this ain't it, y'all. This is just half of what I'm going to share with y'all. So I'm sitting here trying to explain that. And after I explained it to him, he got it, right? He was like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. You know, just coming from a more traditional perspective, right? In terms of the male-female gender roles. And so we go down there and go down to the train station. And I tap my card, but I noticed his ass ain't had no damn card. He just like basically jumped the gate, right? And I'm like, hell no. I know it ain't my type. I'm sorry. Y'all can call it what you want to call it. And I know people quick to... The hell is that out there? Oh, trash people. Okay, so people quick to jump to say that, oh, you're a gold digger. And I'm like, no, your girl can take care of herself. I just have certain expectations and standards when I'm talking to men, right? So being that he jumped the gate, like he ain't paid to get in the train station, I'm like, these motherfuckers gotta be broke or something ain't right. And I started to think that maybe he homeless, because at the event where we met at the comedy club, it was homeless people in line. I mean, that's the thing that they do every year. The owner of the club, he hosts this free Thanksgiving fest where he feeds the community, right? And I was in line too. And like, I didn't get me a plate. Of course, I got me a plate, but I wasn't necessarily there for the free food. I was there because I thought Tiffany Haddish was going to be there, because that's what it says on the website. But anyway, yeah, that kind of really, that turned me off, right? And then I'm look closely at his fingernails, and I'm like, dude got dirt under his fingernails. I'm like, he might be homeless. And so I end up, being that he said that he lived downtown, we pretty much would be going in the same direction, because I live in Inglewood. And so to get to Inglewood from Hollywood, you can take the red line, you know, south, right? And he didn't get on the train. So I'm like, okay, what the hell is he about to do? Not that I'm really so concerned, but it kind of threw me off, because he said he lived downtown. And so he was like just hanging out. Like after I got on the train and train pulled off, he was just like still standing there on the platform. And I'm like, the other train goes to North Hollywood. So that's the total opposite direction from where he lives. So I'm like, okay, interesting, but whatever. So I get to Inglewood, y'all. Now this is a really interesting part. This is like really the reason why I made this video. Because I just want to kind of catch you guys up. Because Facebook did something to my video I made yesterday about me being lonely yesterday morning. And then, yeah. So I don't know. I had wrote them and trying to figure out what the fuck going on with my video. Because that never happened. But anywho. So yes. Get to Inglewood. And I get off the train. And I'm sitting there at the bus stop waiting, and thankfully it didn't take long for the bus to come, right? But in the meantime, it was like a good 5-minute wait. And I heard this voice of this man that was like, "You have a beautiful face." Now first, I'm like, wait a minute, where is this voice coming from? And did I hear that? And so then the person said it again. It was like, "You have a beautiful face." And so I'm looking to see where it's coming from, and it's coming from this black car that was slowly riding down the street. And so I looked up, I guess just trying to be respectful because he said it twice, like he was looking to say something back. I went ahead and said, "Thank you," right? And I'm like, oh shit. So when I said thank you, dude, do a U-turn at the light. And I'm like, oh shit, here we go. It's late. And I'm like, do I really feel like being bothered? Your girl was really tired at this point, right? So he do a U-turn at the light, then he pull up to the bus stop. And he's like, trying to remember his exact words. He was like, "Yeah, I think you're very beautiful." And I'm like, "Hi, dude, it's late. How the hell can you see my face?" He was like, "I can see it because it was, the lights, the street lights or whatever. And I think I was on my phone, but still, it's still late. Like, we not really close. You way at the light. But like, how the hell can you see my face, right?" He was like, "Oh, I see your face." And I was like, "Yeah, I think you're very beautiful." And I'm like, okay. And then he was like, "I want to know, can I give you a ride?" And y'all know, I said no. I'm like, hell no. Like, are you crazy? I ain't about to get in no car with no freaking stranger. It's late at night. I'm a woman. No, bad enough that I'm sitting here talking to your ass at the side of the fucking street. Like, no. And so I declined. He was like, "You sure?" I was like, "I'm not going that far, literally. Like, I'm not going that far, but I appreciate your offer, but I'm good, He was like, "Okay." So I get on a bus, and I swear the most freakiest thing happened to me, y'all. So I get on the bus, and then I get off the bus. When I get off the bus, do y'all know a dark skin, like the same complexion, because the guy was dark complexion, right? Dark skin, in a black car. Pulled up. When I get off the bus, a guy pulled up right behind that bus as I get out the bus. And I get out the bus, and I'm looking at this freaking car, and he slowed down, and he talking to me. He was like, "You need a ride?" And I'm like, wait a minute. I say, hold on, I know I ain't tripping. Because I wasn't drinking or nothing like that, right? Clear mind. I'm like, what the hell is going on, right? I say, ain't you the same dude that just asked me, do I want to ride? And by the way, I skipped a part. So the guy who initially had said, "Oh, you have a beautiful face," because after I told him I didn't want to ride, he asked, can he get my phone number? Which I did get my phone number because I was like, okay, he kind of cute. I'm like, I'll take a chance, I see how this gonna go, right? And so I gave him my phone number. And so, like I said, when I get off the bus, like a similar thing kind of happened where this guy pulled up and he was like, "Oh, can I give you a ride?" And dude is like dark skin and he's in a black car. Now, the only difference I noticed was that the first guy, he had glasses. The second guy didn't have any glasses, right? And I'm looking at him, I'm like, ain't you the same dude? Like, am I tripping? Didn't I just tell you that I'm good? He was like, no. He was like, why would I do that? I was like, well, you look like the same guy that just asked me, do I want a ride? Try to offer me a ride home. And I told him no. And I'm like, why would you follow me on the bus? Like, that's kind of creepy. And so he was like, no, that's not me. And so he was like, but can I give you a ride? Can I take your number? And I looked at him and I'm like, I had to think real quick. I'm like, I said, how old are you? He was like, I'm 53 or something, he said, right? I'm like, I said, you too old for me. I was like, how old are you? I say, I'm 35. He was like, oh, that's too old for you? I was like, yeah. Yeah, you too old. He looked like one of those like old cats. I mean, he wasn't bad looking or nothing. His car was clean, but I'm like, nah. And so he was like, all right. He was like, have a good night. And he went ahead and pulled off. But I thought that was kind of weird because I'm like, wait a minute. What the hell? And so the first guy who I gave my phone number to, he had told me when he gave my phone number, he was like, give me a call when you get to your destination, right? So I get home, get settled in, and then I finally give him a call. And when he answered, he was like, hey, Miss Danielle. He was like, I didn't think you was going to call. I was like, yeah, I was going to call. It took me some time to get settled in. And so I told him about the freak incident, right? And he was like, no, that wasn't me. I said, was that you? Because it was hard for me to tell, and the encounters happened pretty quickly, so it was really hard for me to register, like, faces, right? And then it's dark. And so he was like, no, that's not me. He was like, why would I risk the opportunity of meeting and getting to know you by going against your wishes if you said that you didn't want to ride home? He was like, no, I went ahead and went off and went in my direction. I'm like, okay. And I said, you sure? Because if you did that, then I'm about to hang up the phone because that's some creepy ass shit. But he was like, nah. He was like, that wasn't him. I'm like, okay. So after we got past that, y'all, I'm like, what the hell? My life is crazy as hell, y'all. And it's interesting because how in the hell I make a video about me being lonely and then at the end of the day, this happens. It was almost like it was destiny, right? And so I'm talking to this guy. We're getting to know each other. And I'm like, damn. Like, he is like turning me on. Like, mentally, you know. Get y'all minds out the gutter. Not sexually, but mentally, right? Which obviously that's connected to, but we'll get to that later. And so I'm like, damn, he's saying some good stuff. He's talking good. He's in law enforcement, and y'all know that's important to me. Like, you gotta be financially set. You know what I'm saying? I ain't dealing with no broke dudes. Nah. Call me what you want to call me, but I know who I am. And so he got, you know, he's in law enforcement. He said he's in martial arts or whatever. I think he said black belt or something like that. He's a master, I think he said, martial arts. He lives on his own. I'm like, okay, much better than the other guy that was trying to holler at me from Serbia, talking about he renting a room for $400. I'm like, nah, that ain't gonna work. And then he jump in the fucking train. Nah. You can't afford $1.75 ride, dude. It's cheap as fuck to ride the train and the bus. But anyway, so yeah, last night basically I felt pretty good, you know, because I even told him, I say, this must be something special because I'm pretty hard. Like, I ain't trying to say, oh, I'm this and that, but I know that I'm pretty hard catch. I don't make it easy for guys when they talk to me. And being that for him, it's not that he had to work extra hard or do backflips or nothing. He was just being himself, being very authentic. So I'm like, I know it has to like be a good match, because for him to just be himself and still be able to get my interest, I'm like, damn, this must be heaven sent. Ironic. And it was just, the conversation flowed. It flowed so well, y'all. Because me, I'm the kind of person, I'm like, fuck this, I'm about to go to sleep or whatever. Like, I don't hesitate. I will let a motherfucker know. If I'm not interested, I will cut that shit off very short. But that ain't how it went last night. Because I got home, I would say about, 10 o'clock? Between 10 and 11, I think. And do y'all know, we stayed on the phone till like 2 this morning, like 2:30 this morning. I'm like, and then it didn't even feel like it. Because I was talking to him. I looked at my phone like, damn, 12 o'clock passed. I'm like, it's 1 o'clock. Like, oh, shit. And so I was being mindful of the time, but I wasn't necessarily sleepy. I'm like, because I was interested in the conversation. Like, dude kept my interest, y'all. And I can't tell y'all, like, too many details what we talking about. None of that. But, dude, like I say, dude kept my interest. I'm like, okay. Okay. And so even before, like, we had parted ways, when he saw me last night, he was like, I want to take you out for breakfast. Like, dude already got a plan. And kudos, man. That's the kind of man I like. I like men who know themselves, who are confident, who know what they want. Don't be sitting around here confused as hell. I can't be with no man like that because I can't follow no man like that. And me, I like to take more of a submissive role, right? And so, yeah, you gotta lead me somewhere. You know, it ain't just any kind of where, but you gotta know what you're doing, have a plan set. And dude had a plan. He was like, I want to take you out to breakfast. And he reiterated that last night before he hung up. He was like, so in the morning, I want to take you out to breakfast, meaning this morning. And he was like, before we hung up the phone, he was like, when you wake up, give me a call, or when I wake up, I'll give you a call. Like, dude got shit set. Like, he got things worked out. I'm like, damn. This is too good to be true, right? I'm like, hold on, slow this shit down, right? But, so yeah, he ended up calling me first because being that I went to bed at 2, I'm like, I gotta get my rest. And so dude called me, I think he called me like 8 something this morning. And I'm like, dang, I had missed his call because I was asleep. But when I woke up before, maybe 10 minutes before 9 or something like that. And then I saw he called, but I didn't call him right back. I was doing some other stuff. And then I called him back, and then I was like, dude, you wake up early as hell. I mean, I get up early too, but if I'm going to bed later, then I'm going to get up later to make sure I get my full sleep. And he was like, yeah. He was already out and about. He was like, I'm about to head to Walmart. And I was like, okay, I think I'm about to go back to sleep. But I didn't. I couldn't go back to sleep this morning. And so I ended up just taking a shower. And here I am, you guys. He's waiting on me to call him, y'all. And he actually asked for my social media. He's like, I have a social media account. He just was very open. And I like that. Like, very transparent. Don't be trying to hide shit. Don't be trying to be suspicious. And yeah, because that raises a red flag for me when guys be trying to be secretive and hide stuff. But he was very forthcoming. He was like, I have a Facebook page. I'll give you my Facebook. Hit me up on Facebook. And I'm like, okay. And then I gave him mine. I was hesitant to give him mine. I'm like, okay, can you just give me yours and I check you out, and then after maybe a few days I'll give you mine. It's like, nah, that's not fair. It's like, I want yours. And I was like, dude, I kind of share a lot, and then I'm pretty blunt in a lot of my videos, so I guess I didn't want to scare him away, because I was like, wait a minute, that might be too, like, I don't know, I'm revealing too much of myself maybe on my vlogs, which I'm probably gonna dial it back, because I realized that, like, I don't know, maybe he don't need to know that, especially a guy I just met. I'm like, my whole life is kind of out there, like, not my whole life, because I don't reveal everything, but it's a good portion of my life that's out there in the world, you know. And that's kind of an odd feeling when you just meet somebody and it's like, okay, they kind of know more about you than you do about them, even though he shared a lot about his history and everything that he's doing now and stuff like that. So, and I have a way of pulling information out of people. I mean, that's what I do for a living, but we're going to see how this goes. So he's definitely waiting on me to call him, y'all. But, see how my life my life has been a roller coaster all my entire life. So it's amazing. I come to say this, it's amazing how yesterday I was feeling all sad and lonely, and then boom, this happens at the end of yesterday. Like, I meet this guy. Like, the timing obviously had to be just right, because it's crazy how I was like in Hollywood talking to this guy for like several hours on the street. You know, we just kind of hanging out talking, me and the guy from Serbia. And then it was just perfect timing, I guess, when I got to Inglewood. And then this guy, like, what the hell? And I don't usually do that, but something in my spirit was just like, give the dude a chance. Like, see what he's talking about. Because I swear, y'all, that ain't me. Especially, like, you riding down the street and it's late and it's dark. And I think, was I the only one at the bus stop? I think I could have been the only one at the bus stop, which is kind of unusual. Because usually there's other people there. And I wasn't afraid. I mean, I'm never really afraid or anything like that. I feel like I can handle my own shit. But for me to actually give this dude a chance, like, I kind of let down my guard. I'm like, whoa. But something was telling me, just see what he's talking about. Just give him a chance. And if you give a person your phone number, if it don't work out, you can always block them, right? Like, what's the number? That's not a big deal. So, we're going to see. I know he probably gonna watch this video. Because it was all over my page, y'all, last night. It was like, oh, I was like, you're very beautiful. I mean, I get that a lot anyway, but he's admiring my physical characteristics. He was like, I know that it's not about, like, he was like, because I wasn't dressed, like, provocatively, so he was like, I know that I didn't get his interest because of that. He was like, it was really your face. I'm like, okay, well, it's going to take more than my face for us to, I guess, fall in love. But for him, he already talking about, like, oh, I'm the one. That's why I made this video, like, love at first sight. I titled it that because he's kind of, like, already moving in the direction, like, he know, like, I'm the one. I'm like, interesting. He's like, yeah, you the kind of woman I'm going to marry. Like, he kind of said that several times throughout our conversation as I was telling him certain things, just revealing how I am and the way I guess I was responding to him. It kind of flowed, you know, because I can tell he's a dominant kind of guy, and he's more the traditional guy, traditional man, right? That takes the lead in a relationship, and because I was going along with that, he liked that, and he was just saying how the issues he had in his previous relationships, they weren't like that, right? But I told him, I say, I warn you now, because he's telling me certain examples about things that went wrong in his previous relationship, right? Which was like several years ago, and how they were, you know, arguing about this or that or whatever. And so I guess it's like he was trying to juxtapose his previous relationship, how those women were, to like how I am, put me on a pedestal. And I'm like, dude, first of all, this is like, everybody know when you first meet somebody, it's all peaches and cream. It's like the honeymoon phase. People put on their representative. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm just being more objective because I'm not necessarily in it. Like, there is no emotions between necessarily me and you. Like, we're just meeting each other. But if I was in my emotions, then you might see a different Danielle. If that makes sense. Because I'm like, I'm kind of playing more of the role of, you know, a listener, thinking objectively, and that's how my responses came. And so he was like, dang, I really appreciate it. I was like, well, I can't promise you that that's going to be like that several months down the road. Like, basically saying that I was kind of thinking more along the lines of a therapist, you know, just thinking in a rational mind, you know. But just because I think like that and I can talk like that, let's say in my videos or with a person that I'm not necessarily involved with emotionally, doesn't mean that I'm always thinking like rational mind, you know. Like, I'm a human being, and I know even in my previous relationship, I told him, I was like, well, yes, this is like my third year in the PhD program, right? But this is not my first time training as a therapist. Like, I've been a therapist. I've been doing this all my life. I'm just doing it at the doctoral level, but I've been a master's level therapist even in my previous relationship. And you would think, people I think have the assumption that, okay, just because a person is a doctor or they're a therapist, that they just gonna behave appropriately all the time. It's like, no, I'm a human being. So even though I know these skills, right, of how to relate to people and how to have a productive conversation or a relationship and how to resolve conflict, you know, thinking therapeutically, that don't mean I'm always wearing my therapist hat. And I told him that, I was like, even in my previous relationship, shit, we argued a lot, and my therapist hat was nowhere near my ass. I wouldn't even think about that. And maybe if it was, then probably would have went about things differently. But oh well, that's the past. And I'm telling him, like, still even to this day, I can't promise you that I'm always gonna be thinking this rationally and wearing my therapist hat. But anywho, he just fell in love with, I guess, my representative. Like, you gotta get to know me, because, and I think he kind of did get a glimpse of me, because he's like, okay, I see you are kind of difficult. I'm like, yeah. I have my own mind, but I think that's enough said for now. I'm about to give him a call, and I'm probably sure he's probably watching this. I don't care. So I will catch you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays. Hopefully, I don't know where the hell we about to go. I'm about to see. And he was like, I'm gonna pick you up from your house. I'm like, No, you ain't. I ain't telling you where I live. Like, no. I don't know you like that. I take things slow. So, anywho, I'm going to catch you guys later. Probably later today. I don't know if I'm going to go live again later today. But thank you guys for tuning in. And Facebook, y'all better with my damn videos now. Getting back my freaking video I made yesterday. But love you guys. Smooches.